I'm in my office.
But this is an emergency. Part of my hair's curled completely the wrong way.
Looks fine, Kelly. Very original.
Mom?
You!
I'm not gonna be home for dinner. I got a basketball game at Phil's school.
You're not going into that neighborhood at this time of night.
Oh, Mom, I promised him I was gonna play. He's gonna get so mad.
Now look what you've done. You could have given her a concussion.
You guys want to know something about F. Scott Fitzgerald and Shakespeare? They weren't mothers. David, read the Times.
I was mugged.
What?
I was mugged. Somebody stuck a gun in my back and took all my money.
Honey, are you all right? Did he hurt you?
No.
Well, where? Where'd it happen?
Right down at the corner. He just took the money and ran.
How much did he get?
Just your allowance money.
Honey, what did he look like?
I don't know. He said, don't turn around. I was shaking like a leaf. I'm still shaking.
It probably wasn't even a gun. Probably just a piece of pipe or something.
And here I was worrying.
Honey, please. Please, let's just go for a drive Sunday in the suburbs. It won't hurt to look around.
It'd be all right. It won't hurt to look around.
The further we got out, I could feel the family harmony increasing by leaps and bounds.
Davy, honey, sit down. Daddy can't drive with scissors in his ear.
Just trying to cut those hairs off.
Dorothy, please find something for Davy to do.
Honey, sit down. Come on, sit in the back. Look out the window.
Hey, are we there yet?
Kelly, when we're there, I'll stop the car and we'll get out. Didn't see Miss Farr before.
We didn't have the kids along with us.
It's my window, and I say when it goes up and when it goes down.
Come on.
Mom, is it my window?
Steve, let it be your little brother's window today.
Boy, it sure pays to be born last. Roll it up.
Mom!
Now, stop it, both of you. It's not going to be anybody's window. I'll have it boarded up. Oh, smell that fresh air, kid.
My life's over, that's all. I've been pulled up by the roots. I'll never see Phil McGonagall again.
You hate Phil McGonagall.
Well, I'll still never see him again.
Mom, I think I'm gonna be sick.
You're not going to be sick. That's my final word.
Steve, get your hand in the car. It'll blow off.
Or how many kids had their hands blown off last year?
23,000.
Mom!
Dorothy, please find something for the kids to do.
Stop it. Now separate. Separate. Sit on your hands. Trips used to be so much easier when we had Burma shave signs to read all up and down the highway. You remember that, honey? Oh, I can tell you one. Let me see if I remember it. Don't stick your elbow out too far. It might go home in another car. Isn't that a hoot? Well, I just pity you guys, that's all, being born after Burma shave signs.
Mom, Kelly keeps letting all the chocolate chips out of the cookies.
Oh, shut up, Davy.
How much farther?
That's when I got my head snapped off for asking.
About 1.5 inches.
Dorothy, can't you interpret a simple road map?
Don't shout at me, Jim. I can't handle shouting today.
No, I'm just suggesting that as a high school graduate, you should be able to read just a simple scale of a map.
Hey, Dad! I just saw a hand fly by.
Have we passed through any time zones yet?
Honey, you are happy about this move, aren't you?
Hey. The houses all look very similar, don't they?
It's hot in here, Mom.
All the apartments in New York look similar.
Mom, it's really hot.
I hope it's not around here.
Are we close yet?
Yes, dear.
We're out in the boonies. Don't say that again.
105, it's 121. I think you're going the wrong way.
Wrong way?
Wait.
We've already been here before.
Where are we?
Gee, it's pretty here.
808.
No, it's 121. I swear.
There's 812 and 816. Where are we?
The numbers change every time I come around, I think.
It's just like that one. That's not it.
We'll never get there.
What if we have to go shopping? Is there a market near?
We'll go hitchhiking.
Here's a market.
They are all exactly the same, aren't they?
No.
No. I think we've seen this part before. Are we going in circles?
I'm hungry.
Is there a hamburger place around here or something? Hey, look at that house. Is that it?
No.
This is the third time we've been around this block, Dad.
Is it?
We're going in circles. Where is it, Dad?
There it is! There it is!
Hey, look! It's so neat! Look at all the dirt!
Come on!
I thought we were supposed to have some trees.
We will. Builder just hasn't put them in yet.
Well, give me the keys.
Oh, here.
How much landscaping comes with the house?
We're down for 5 maples, 8 taps. 6 evergreens, 2 ash, 4 locusts, 2 flowering mother-in-law tongues, and 109 living rose hedge plants. Hey, Steve, heads up!
Hey, Mom. Thought you got lost.
Oh, thanks for the confidence. Here, help me with that.
I think the ice cream has had it.
Oh, I guess I'll have to shop before the sun comes up.
You know, maybe you ought to get a car.
Never. I love the fresh air. I didn't move out to the suburbs to be cooped up and scoot around town in some effete, decadent car.
Huh?
Why, did you leave the TV on?
Davey's watching it.
Wonderful. Hey. You know, I thought you'd kicked the TV habit since we moved out here, but lately you are starting to revert.
Hello?
I'm out here.
I knocked off at least 4 minutes on the thruway tonight, I think. The trick is not to get on at Spence. That's where it all clogs up. But to go 2 miles further and get on at Chester. What are you doing?
Waiting for our dinner to thaw out. Then I have to put it in the oven.
Where's your mother?
She's at a plant party. She just called and said that I have to look after them, I have to cook dinner, and I can't leave the house tonight. Just so she can learn more about mealybug or something.
Do your best. I gotta lie down.
Dad! The strawberry's growing!
Oh, boy! We'll climb and visit the giant's castle. How's the drive?
Like a tank.
You look great in it.
I do?
Yeah.
Oh, you went after a little sports car.
But for a little extra money, we get something we really can use. Look at all the room in there.
Well, at least I've got wheels now. I'll have a little more freedom.
That's Arlo. I got him at the pound. He was free.
Arlo, come here. Come on.
What is it?
It's a dog.
It's Arlo.
It's not a dog, it's a lion. Get him out of here, send him home.
Dorothy, I got to thinking about you and the kids last night. Arlo's a fantastic watchdog, and he'll be great company for you here all day by yourself.
No dog, no dog.
Mom, we can't.
He loves you.
Yeah, it's his responsibility. We love dogs.
Look how he's smiling.
All right, you can keep him, but that means you take care of him. You clean him, you take him out, you do whatever you have to do with him. I am having nothing to do with him.
They will.
Dinner in 30 minutes.
Oh, count me out. I gotta go to a magician's meeting.
Since when are you a magician?
I took it up today.
And I'm having dinner at Debbie's.
Hey, now wait, hey, you guys. Your father finally drops in for a meal, and now all of a sudden you're splitting somewhere. You know how long it's been since we've sat down and eaten a meal together? I don't know why I'm asking you. You didn't even have teeth.
Oh,
All right. If it can't be tonight, it's going to be tomorrow night. We are all going to sit in that dining room together as a family and eat. Only a certificate of death, a recent one, will be an excuse for a no-show.
After school, I was going to practice my semaphore signals with Debbie and then go to the library. And I got a game to lose.
I've got a 5 o'clock dental appointment tomorrow.
Tomorrow night. Dinner. Together.
Well, if we're not finished loving one another by 6:30, I'm gonna split.
Now that we're all here together, let's talk. Let's share our day. That should be an enriching experience.
Guess what 7 words Ramsey Phillips says you can't use on TV?
Not that enriching, sweetheart. Dear, what would you like to talk about?
Why don't you kids want your father to have a lawn? I mean, how do you expect that lawn to cope? Bikes, skates, football games.
Stephen, take that out of your ear and listen to your father.
I know the lawn speech. It runs 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Very funny, but the fact remains that no one lifts a finger to help. I mean, you can run across it, you can tear it to bits, you can break its will to live. But does anybody contribute to its compost? No. I mean, maybe I should donate the front yard to the government for nuclear testing.
Debbie, dear, wouldn't you be more comfortable waiting in the living room for Kelly? She'll be with you as soon as she's finished with this family feast.
Well, okay. But when our semaphore signals are sloppy, don't anybody blame me.
Dad? Every kid in the neighborhood has a 10-speed bike but me.
My skateboard's split down the middle.
Oh, what am I, some kind of Santa Claus? You know how much money I got as a kid?
25 cents a
25
week.
cents a week.
25 cents a week. You know what I had to buy with that 25 cents a week?
You had to buy your books, clothes, tuition, medical expenses, and pay for your own entertainment.
I had to buy all my own books, clothes, medical expenses, pay my own rent, and entertainment. And you know how old I was when I got my first car?
23 years old.
23 years old. And you know who got me my
You
first car?
did. You
You
did.
did. I know a good joke. Can I go now?
No, you just sit right there and let your little brother tell his joke.
Okay. Now, what's yellow, of course, and has 4 legs and weighs 400 pounds. And it goes with peep peep.
You've got it all mixed up.
How do you know? You never heard the joke.
Stephen, would you let him tell it his way? Now go ahead, sweetheart. It's wonderful so far. Finish it.
That's all. Now you're supposed to guess. Give up? Yeah. A 400-pound canary.
Oh.
Don't you get it?
Isn't it two 200-pound canaries?
Well, what's the difference? One 400-pounder and two 200-pounders.
No difference. It's just that that's the way I heard it, that's all.
Well, if you heard it before, you should have stopped me.
It's not my turn to do the dishes.
I think I better go practice my semaphore signals with Debbie. I'll be right with you, Debbie. Just gotta get my flags.
I hope there's an afterlife.
An afterlife?
Life after the kids are grown.
What did Doctor say?
He looks okay to me.
Come
on, honey. Come on. Somehow he got a hold of a sponge and it expanded in his stomach.
Is he okay?
Yeah, he'll be fine. We just can't give him water for a year.
Really?
Mom, you forgot to catch my sleeping bag, and I've got a camping trip tomorrow night.
I didn't forget. I'll do it in the morning. What time is it?
7:30. Doesn't look like dinner's even started yet.
I'm starved.
Me too.
You know, I really must teach you guys how to turn the oven on sometime. Jim, you're going to have to take the kids out for a hamburger. I've just got time to make my class.
Oh, that thing.
Yes, that thing. Loony Mommy's loony little things. I make fun of you because you like to sleep on the cold ground all zipped up to your nose?
Mom, when you come back, will you help me with my Halloween costume?
Oh, well, honey, it'll be a little late for that, but don't worry. We still have time to make your pirate suit.
I decided to be an iguana instead.
Well, that might take a little longer.
Mom, can you drive me to Debbie's house?
Kelly, I don't have time tonight. Mommy's limousine service is closed. Daddy's going to have to drive you.
Dot, why break your back dashing off to Piedmont High when they've got writing classes right down here on the mall? They're in the afternoon when you wouldn't be turning everybody's life upside down?
Jim, that is a poetry class taught by a strange old lady with 3 names and 17 parakeets. My teacher is a published author. He's already had 2 plays produced.
Okay. It just seems to me that if you're really serious about this writing, you might try to get organized to the point where you might have dinner ready before you go rushing off.
Could I help it if Arlo got sick? Now, is it too much to ask you to take the kids out for a hamburger for one night?
No, I've only taken on 2 new accounts today to try to keep our heads above water, so why not take on some of your domestic chores while you go trotting off to school like some teenager?
Keep our heads above water.
Do you have any idea what it costs to live in this house? Insurance, taxes, car payments. And when are we going to get rid of those 99,000 boxes of moldy cookies you foisted on me?
Foist. You use the word foist on me? You, the great foister? You foist a 10-ton truck on me when all I wanted was a spiffy little sports car. You foist a dog on me that was more trouble to potty train than all 3 kids put together. And you foist fertilizer on me every time my back is turned.
Now we've got a vet bill. How did he get a sponge?
I chopped it up and fed it to him in his kibble.
Well, somebody ought to keep an eye on that dog.
Well, you keep an eye on him. Or you. Because I've got a hot flash for every one of you. This hired hand is resigning. Now, I am going to that class for 2 lovely hours. And I'm sure you'll all starve to death before I get back because none of you will be able to figure out how to open up the refrigerator. And if you want to save more money, why don't you try buying a little less manure? You're early.
Yeah, I think I finally figured those throughways out. I got it.
Someone here to see you.
Mr. Benson? Frank Loring, County Building Inspector, Sewage and Drainage. I'm afraid you got the wrong septic tank out there.
I didn't know I had a choice.
Actually, you don't. You see, according to this, you've got a 621B. Now, that's not up to code, and we'll have to change it.
Change it?
Yes. We'll have a man out here dig up your lawn first thing in the morning, okay? Have a nice day. Excuse me. Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. Wait a minute.
They can't dig on, can they?
What's gonna happen to my maple tree?
I spent an hour this morning.
All right,
spraying
everybody
lawn
take it
food.
easy. Nobody's going to come in here, make an announcement like that, and walk out of here. I would take this to court if I had to. Nobody's going to come here and dig up this lawn.
Sorry, Mr. Benson. I could have sworn that septic tank was in the front yard.